Alright guys, hello and welcome. It is time for the first game of the day. This is the North American Challenger Cup, week number 6. We're in round 2, we're skipping round 1. It's going to be hi-5 facing off against Salt Shakers in this one. I'm Zayden, here with the one, the only Hindu man.
Good day everybody, and Zayden. We're going to be tuning in with hi-5 versus Salt Shakers first. Reason being is hi-5 are currently sat in 5th position. Now this does not mean they're guaranteed to be entered just yet into the potential of qualifying for those SPL spots that are coming up. So what they need to do here is try and climb themselves up to 4 higher. They're in 5th right now, and so these early round games are very important for them as they try and get their way through. hi-5 made up of Elbro, Chacho, Nonton, Bolcher, El Chapu, and Medieval. You've heard some of those names before. They've been in the Pro League before, but they need to keep winning ways going to have a chance.
Indeed. So with that said, bans already have come out. It's going to be Bastet Athena removed by hi-5. Back on the other side, Salt Shakers taking Sylvanas as well as Hunbats off the table. This does mean there's a lot of AD carries still available, as well as quite a few assassins. And, yep, one of the big ones picked up immediately. Thor locked in first pick. No real surprise with that one.
Yeah, I'm surprised by the Thor, but what that did leave up was Bellona as well, and Salt Shakers have gone straight away locked that one in response. I feel Bellona and Thor, well, Bellona definitely should be one of those top ban potential ones, and probably Thor as well, but Sylvanas was taken out by them. I kind of like Salt Shakers' decision there. It's like, well, let's give them Thor so we guarantee ourselves Bellona, or they take Bellona and we get Thor. They do pick up Poseidon alongside it, so their mid lane is nice and safe. Poseidon, one of those top contentious picks right now in the mid lane. Strong early game, strong mid game. Falls off a little bit late game, but he's still very, very strong. If he gets a big crack and he can turn a fight around. So you can see that he's, you know, started to be up there in terms of picks and bans now in this mid lane.
And speaking about turning fights around, Isis locked in the other side. That circle protection can be an absolute menace in a fight. This big area, well, we do not really want to fight there, because if it gets charged up and detonated on us, we're going to take a huge chunk of damage. At the same time, that charge does mean potentially a very large heal for the team on the side of Isis. So hi-5 looking to step and make some big plays of their own. They also locked in Anhur. Very powerful wave clear these days, regarded generally as one of the more powerful AD carries, if not top AD carry at the moment. So they're shaping up to have a pretty scary team comp on the side of hi-5 right now.
Geb was locked in for Salt Shakers here, and the Geb pickup was kind of smart here because they ban away Bacchus in the counterban phase, so they're trying to take away support options. I mean, Ymir Ares still on the table here. I don't think Ares is necessarily a bad pick in this situation, and Ymir is also viable to be quite strong, but he's semi-overlooked over in NA. He's not as strong as the EU side views Ymir to be, and with Bacchus taken off, then you're going to have to start looking further down into the support pool to see what hi-5 can bring out.
It will be interesting. AD carry also getting picked up for Salt Shakers, locking in Xbalanque. Still a lot of early game poke, and of course that always active sort of physical power steroid with his passive, provided he can get kills to actually get that building up and online. Back on the other side, however, hi-5 locking in both Tyr and an Odin. This is a bit of an interesting pickup. We're talking about reaching down to that support pool. Odin's definitely a little bit further down there.
This is an abuse lane, or as we would normally say, abuse lane. Odin has fantastic burst potential of wave clear, along with Anhur. These guys are going to punish this Geb early game as much as possible. You trap him in the ring, you all in him, he's going to have issues. So is Xbalanque. He's not going to have a way of escaping that. Rising Jaguar does not jump over Ring of Spears. So if you get pinned in that, you're going to have a bad time. Plus Poseidon in mid lane, also not going to be able to escape, may have to invest in Combat Blink. It's not something you see very often in the mid laners. It starts to come out a little bit more, but Combat Blink gets into Odin is normal, and obviously the Tyr pick is standard Tyr. Tyr is one of the top gods in solo lane right now, so not a surprise to see him either.
Indeed. Final pick getting locked in by Salt Shakers will be Awilix. This is going to make for some very interesting little play options. Poseidon potentially with a Kraken, that knock-up off the center. Geb as well. Shockwave is a knock-up, and potentially there's a couple guys on the other side. Odin trying to do a bird bomb with that lunge. When he's flying through the air, can be ripped down back out of it. I would absolutely love to see somebody get saved by Awilix. Oh, you're trying to kill my buddy? I'll yoink you back towards me. It may not end that well for me, but at least I'll save you. You'll get out alive. And then I can look maybe summon Suku and jump over a wall or something fancy like that to escape myself. So Awilix is going to provide
Anhur as well. I mean, there's Anhur as well, who's going to use that leap ability, so that really causes a few issues for the duo lane. It's going to be up to Awilix to try and like pressure that, because she's going to need to help those two. Xbalanque and Geb can play pretty safe there, but Xbalanque may lose a little bit of farm by the push power, and they've got to watch out for the rotations to mid lane from this Odin now, because that is a very, very aggressive duo lane from hi-5 out there that can cause a lot of issues for the boys of Salt Shakers.
Definitely. With that said, guys, I think the anti-ghost timer is currently ticking down, so we're going to head and cut to a quick little break. Let the game actually get started up, let ourselves get in all synced up and ready to go. We'll get back here with the first game, Hi-5 facing off against Salt Shakers, in just a few. So stick around, enjoy the music. We'll see you in a bit. Alright guys, hello and welcome back. It is time for the first game of the day, Hi-5 facing off against the Salt Shakers in this first match of Week 6 for the North American Challenger Cup. Going to this one, a little bit of early grouping coming out from both these teams right now as they kind of run around. Looks like they're going to be placing some early wards down the respective sides of the jungle. Just kind of spot out any potential early invades coming out of the side of Hi-5. Tyr and Thor, some of the better earlier game invade combos possible.
However, we've got Bellona with Heavy Hammer here. I'm be surprised if they don't invade because he started Heavy Hammer on this Bellona. Heavy Hammer very aggressive in the early game. Obviously, taking Scourge at the start can allow him to continue chasing thanks to the passive as well and putting some damage on. I'm surprised if they don't invade and start Heavy Hammer there. I mean, she could have invested into Runeforged or Bluestone to begin with and then looked at it later on. There's no invade coming out from Hi-5 here, or is there? I'm lying left-hand side. Looks like we're going to see invasion onto this red buff. I've not seen one of these before. Exciting.
This is definitely new. Season 2, the invades on the left-hand side of the jungle, not really all that common. They grouped up, they're waiting. There are no wards placed down right now. This could be a free invade. They're going to start this damage buff up here in just a second. They do not know this one is coming in. We'll see how they look to play this.
Fire bomb comes out. Well, the lunge comes out at least and drops the red buff down for them. They're actually going to give that over to Nonton as well. Nonton picked up that red buff, which is quite surprising. They didn't go for the purple for him. So he's going to actually have the extra damage for now. They're trying to poke them out for the most part. But early denial of experience to all of them. That's going to cause Vulture to have a big advantage in mid lane over Poseidon here.
Yeah, definitely. That damage buff is going to be available to fall back to once the jungler makes a rotation over from the solo lane. And already, you can see level 2 already hit by Vulture. That does mean the Spirit Ball is online if Poseidon happens to come out far enough in the tower to look for a pick. Or even just for a little bit of poke, Isis could look for it. But Isis on her own, one of the better wave clear gods in the game. Wingus is just so effective at just knocking down a wave of minions early on.
I do like the call coming out from Salt Shakers here, though. They've got a negative duo lane that we've been talking about during the load before the picks and bans. So they took their purple buff and just let the wave push into tower. They didn't try and contest in the wave. They didn't walk to wave and go for the purple lane. They took their purple and waited. So they hit level 2 safely, and they have to play very passively in this lane now. As you can see, the pressure coming out once again from mid lane. They're going to rotate for those back harpies on the left side.
Yep, so pretty much the entire jungle on the left-hand side getting stripped away already. And if they keep this up right now, Hi-5 are going to be establishing an early stranglehold on the Salt Shakers. They'll have to very much look to start counter-invading here if possible. If nothing else, just get some wards down after the first backs to base and just start to look to punish Hi-5 for just being on their side of the jungle so far pretty much the entire game. Over in the solo lane, rather, a little bit of back and forth going on. Pretty much just wave clear for the time being. If Medieval's not careful, though, with that Heavy Hammer and Bellona, she could potentially look to just kind of lock him down with that slow.
Take and hold this lane. Take and hold this lane. There's a Fearless combo, and he looks like he might actually go down here to this one. Going to use the Scourge to disarm, get the passive ticking for the extra attack speed. Sorry, movement speed that you get from it. If Medieval can actually get in range for this Fearless, no, he's not going to have it on cooldown quick enough or power cleave. So, not going to be able to follow up, but good damage so far coming out from Medieval. Like I was saying, Tyr is actually very strong against Bellona in this matchup. He can hold his own against her and potentially kill her if she misplays.
Yep, he has a slight experience advantage. We'll have Lawbringer online before she has the Eagles rally herself, so he'll have a little bit of a favorable moment in just a little bit to possibly take advantage of. There's level 5. That does mean his ultimate is available. You see Bellona just kind of pulling back to the tower a little bit, playing a little bit safer. Does not want to get caught out and overextended and get punished for it. Over in the dual lane, it looks like Hi-5 just kind of trying to hope that Salt Shakers up. They left. We can go ahead and just kind of look for a quick pick here. Or rather, quick minion farm, giving Hi-5 the opportunity for a quick pick. So mid-harpies are going to be up here in about 10 seconds. Those rotations are already starting to come out. You see Odin heading over. A little bit of grouping. Hi-5 want this left side camp, but they might just go 1-for-1 this first set.
Yeah, I think Gab's going to be here very, very late to the party. He's actually going to have to roll out round the back of the jungle here. Needs to watch the position. But Thor's going to ult here. They're going to look to go on the right-hand side, but they've already disengaged from them. As Vulture going around, but the dunk did connect, followed by the Spirit Ball. That's going to be first blood. The Kraken is not available. And Poseidon goes down his first blood as Hi-5. Going to be able to get both mid-camps here, I expect.
Yep, there's a Suku lead coming on in. I believe those were actually just sewing up the hand of the gods, but right now it does not look like Weedus is going to get it. His feather step over the head, looking to get out of that one alive. Not going to happen. El Chapu cleans it up with a couple more attacks, plus a Berserker Barrage. Ping's coming out just to say, but Bellona might be on her way to say hello from the solo lane, but otherwise, left side Harpy's still up, nobody there to contest it, and they're actually not going to worry about it because, well, nobody's here to stop an early Gold Fury attempt by Hi-5.
Not at all, and they do have Ring of Spears available as well from Elbow Chacho still, so we can just ring out Geb from coming in here. Circle of Protection goes down for the healing and the burst damage that you can do with that skill, and that's going to be a free Gold Fury for high five, and maybe even be able to pick up this Geb who just rolled into danger, impaled to the wall. Sacrificial Lamb. Vulture gets himself another kill, and these mid Harpies are now going to go as well to high five. This is going to start snowballing quick.
Yeah, that's a big overall play. About a 3,000 gold lead right now for high five. They have pretty much control over this mid lane. Over in the left dual lane, looks like a little back and forth. Small Mayo not in a great spot as Anhur is looking for this kill. Desert Fury has not yet been used. Nantan could potentially look for that for a kill right now. He's going to hold on to it for the moment. He's going to look to dive. There it is coming out. He may fall to the tower.
He's going to die. He's going to die. He's going to die. Nantan! What were you thinking, Nantan? What were you thinking? Oh, Nantan, please. So, what he could have done then, he could have popped Desert Fury straight away. He was trying to hold it too long. You said that yourself. I don't think he was. I don't think he was.
I saw him at 75. It's 80
was he
base.
too low?
He was out of mana. He waited, and as soon as it was up, he went for it. By that point,
oh,
Small Mayo had already pulled back under the tower, and it's like he was committed at that point. He had to go for it. It's like, I'm here. He's almost dead. Kills. It just didn't.
As Zapman would say, challenger level plays coming out then from Nantan. It's not one you see before, but the good news is nobody got an assist or a kill for that. Hooray! But that archer for that tower now will have some extra gold to spend when it goes back to base. Maybe work on its boots so it can actually be a bit more mobile on this map. Jungle's been started by high five. They've dropped their speed and their blue. Likewise, Salt Shakers have dropped their blue. They're going for the speed now. But Elchapu in the jungle here is going to try and invade onto this Awilix. And Awilix knows what's up. She's got a ward.
Yeah, but he is not looking to reset this. Elchapu wants to deal some ways, but could come to hand the gods off for here in just a moment. But it was successfully secured by Elchapu. Ring of Spear is going to be able to leap over the wall for Awilix, excuse me. Thor is up, looking to secure something here potentially. Elbatracho's getting low. Gonna find a kill in the back onto Awilix, but Odin rather not looking too good. Bellona comes in over the wall and takes that kill. Yeah, with the shockwave cleans up a second with
nice,
Thor. I can't think of names today.
Okay, there you lost West Fearless. Power Cleave comes out, but now Medieval's in a bit of trouble. But thankfully, Vulture turns up with the Silent Spirit Ball combo. Rally was used to get away, but will the Wingers be enough? No, it will not. Can't chase down any further, even with the movement speed. And Salt Shakers pick up 2 kills, where High Five went a little bit too aggressive and gave it away a little bit.
They got that steal in it. It was a decent play overall, but they were not able to get back out of the jungle. They went for that big play in the back. Yeah, Thor got the kill, got the dunk, but he didn't make it out alive himself. So in the end, was it really worth it? They could have gotten that buff stolen away and just backed off. Going 1 for 1 when or 2 for 2 in that particular instance when you are ahead does mean it's a small victory for the team that was behind. So I guess overall even because they stole the speed buff away. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe a tiny little bit of a misstep there for High Five. We'll see if they can stabilize things out and not make any more little mistakes like that going forward. They might be looking for a pick here onto Nantan on the left side. The rotation's coming out, but he's aware of it. He's looking to get out already. He has the disperse if he needs it.
He can't leap because if he leaps, he's going to get pulled back and he's going to use Desert Fury instead. Good shield coming out from Gavin and a knock-up and a quick feather step secures the kill, but the double tap was good from Elchapu and spin to win for that last hit to bring him down. 1 for 1 trade here, but Odin's thinking about coming over. It looks like he's changed his mind now. They were trying to catch Poseidon potentially on the rotation, but now they're going to come around the back and maybe they'll find more.
Rochacho has Ring of Spears. Geb can knock it out of that one. Neither can Xbalanque. They're going to lock him down, look to pick him up. Bird Bomb will be good. Knocked up on the tail of it, but damage was there nevertheless. Looking for one more on to Small Mayo if they can find him. Thor's going up in the air again. This could be a kill going on to Small Mayo first.
Don't do it on
game. Will he find it? The Emerald Dawn doesn't hit. One hammer to the side of the head will be more than enough, however. Able to sneak out. He's going to run to Poseidon now. This may not end too well.
Well, he's going to walk into Poseidon, but Poseidon's only level 8 here. Very, very passive at the moment. He's a bit too worried about the aggression. I'm surprised he doesn't go for the Whirlpool Kraken combo to try and burst him down, but going to respect it. Actually going to stay under his tower, so he's missing farm in mid lane now, and the left-hand Harpies are available. May consider going for these, but he's going to be a little bit too late. He's still just hovering here. Poor Poseidon, I think he's so scared right now that he's just sticking to that tower. Tower hugging extreme.
I like that Sentry Ward they just placed down, however. It will make sure that there's no enemy ward right there, as well as just providing vision for him. It's like I can't be ganked from that side. Yeah, you still have to worry about Thor coming in with his ultimate, but he just used it a couple seconds ago, so there's this nice little window of safety for Poseidon, not to have to worry about that Thor coming in from the skies. For now, however, a little bit of grouping. Right side Harpies the Harpies are pretty much offset right now by a pretty large margin. Right side will be up in a little bit. Salt Shakers can look to pick that up. They have some jungle buffs coming up in a little bit as well. I believe Poseidon did end up picking up the second damage buff. I didn't actually quite see that, but the third one's about to come up here in just a moment. He'll likely be able to take that one up, unless hi-5 look for another big invade and big fight over that one.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to go aggressive just now, hi-5. I mean, they've got both Harpies down, their jungle's down. The Gold Fury's up in a few seconds, so keep an eye out, because eventually they may go for a pick with this Thor-Odin combo very soon, just so they can go for the Gold Fury. The pick will be onto Geb, more than likely, so he's not going to have the Hog 3 available. That's why they're swinging around this left-hand side, but boys at the Salt Shaker's well aware of that. Red buff has spawned as well, and the Gold Fury is going to be started straight away.
They may have suspected this one. You see Geb coming around the back, looking to secure this one for himself. Wrath of the Gods available for both supports. Yeah, he did. He spotted out. He saw that Tectonic Rift come down from across the pit. hi-5 will secure the Gold Fury. Well, they look to fight. Good Kraken, put a lot of damage. Elbow Controls get picked off. Really Nanton very low as well.
Really
Desert Fury not saving him. They're looking to clean this up with a couple more kills, but it looks like Bolt
He's going to chase in still. Awilix have a step, going to juke over that wall. Avoid the damage. He's very low on mana though, so he's going to get hit by a Spirit Ball. There's double tap from Elchapu. Turns around. He's going straight to the sky though. He's looking for Poseidon.
He is. This could be a very risky. He's going to go for Small Mayo over in the dual lane. Look for the plays. Anvil Dun did not connect. Double tap will not connect either. This is not going to end well. Small Mayo picks up that kill. Elchapu just went too deep on that one. Got too aggressive and paid for it. Tyr now in a little bit of a bad spot, realizing, there's a little bit more of a party here than I thought there would be, pulling back to his tower rather wisely. Soul Shaker there were able to answer back that Gold Fury with a couple kills, but they just chased a little bit too far. A nice Spirit Ball coming out from Vulture set up a pair of kills coming out for those guys. In the end, they ended up going 2 for 3 as far as kills were concerned. So Soul Shakers won on that, but they did lose the second Gold Fury fight.
I mean, they lost the Gold Fury, they won the engagement, but then they chased too far for the extra kills, didn't pick them up, and ended up paying with 2 lives in response. Just didn't work out well for them in the end. So they still lose on Golden Experience overall. They're going to lose right-hand Harpies here as well. Left-hand side, there's a trade between Nanton once again and Small Mayo, and the pillar is down. And we're going to see Nanton chasing in again. The poison's going to slow him. The minions are doing damage. He's not landing the autos very well, though. Again, Nanton with the Impale is good, but it's not enough to bring him down. And now Geb's coming. And Geb could potentially kill this solo.
There's a Blink Shockwave coming in. One more swing will secure that kill. Geb carry coming in from the jungle over that dual lane to secure that kill. Yeah, Nanton, that was really down to the hero minions. They body blocked Nanton in a little bit, took a couple extra shots worth of damage, and that basically what was secured to kill for Geb right there. Otherwise, Anhur would have just been able to disperse straight on out. We saw the Shockwave. As soon as that was up, Nanton was ready to leap out, but fortunately for Geb, that last in-hand attack came across in the nick of time to secure that kill for himself. So well played by him. Good rotation coming out there. You see hi-5 already kind of grouping up. Left side Harpies are up, and they are in position to take them down immediately.
Yep, left Harpies go down. Tyr and Bellona actually looking at a possible rotation there. Changed their mind about it though. You can see that Bellona did drop down that ward. Left hand side, an engagement with the Ring of Spears down though, and the Circle of Protection. Mayo actually jukes out the Circle of Protection though, catches the only edge of the rim. Medieval's here with a Fearless Chain, not going to find enough damage. The disengage is really happening here, but Albedo Chacho's getting a little bit low.
Yeah, it looks like they're looking for the disengage. The Moonlit Charge from Awilix not going to find the knockup she was looking for, so no Gravity Surge coming on the back of that one. They look to disengage, pick up some damage buffs on the side of hi-5. Soul Shakers right now, the jungle is looking rather devoid. Only one back Harpy camp standing, but while this is all going on, Bellona had an opportunity to push a wave of minions to the tower, denying that golden experience, as well as looking to push a second one here just in a moment. Is a rotation possibly coming out from hi-5, making sure Bellona is not able to take that tower down early. If she's able to do that, that will free her up to roam the map quite easily, and potentially set up some nice big fights, because she, well, let's face it, Disarm is quite nice, as well as that extra ring of protections coming out, especially up against a 4 physical god team.
Yeah, Medieval was actually very lucky there with that rotation that Bellona couldn't punish it any harder than she did. She could have potentially taken the tower down if the minion waves had offset better for her, but unfortunately at the same time it just wasn't going to be able to be done, so she couldn't actually get too much damage on. He'll be back in lane in good time. We look through itemization though at the moment. During this pause we can see pretty much standard things coming out from both the solo laners, both with the Runeforged Hammer. Very, very cost efficient item, especially when you're up against double physical jungler and physical solo laner. And then you can also see the Heavy Hammer Blue Stone pendant online for the Tyr. Junglers, Jotun's online in complete 4th Thor at the moment, who's the one that's currently DC'd, it seems. And it looks like he's working on his Shifter's Shield next. Across the way, though, Awilix a little bit further behind 1, 4, and 2, so not managed to finish off that Jotun's just yet. And then we've got the mid laners as well with a very fast spear coming on this Isis.
Yeah, so looking at the state of the game, with the items, looking at the golden experience right now, those couple extra kills do mean a bit of extra experience, but a lot of that gold difference really has just come down to those 2 Gold Fury pickups by hi-5. Other than that, Salt Shaker's actually doing a fairly decent job keeping up with the farm. The 3 extra kills is really all the difference. There's not a lot of jungle invades coming out from hi-5 anymore. All the towers on the game and the map are still standing. So Salt Shakers right now are doing a good job of keeping themselves in this game. They're not letting hi-5 run away with this. You know, at that first gold for your pickup, we said that might be the beginning of a snowball, but it's still slowly going in favor of hi-5, but they're not running away with this one quite yet. Salt Shakers placing down good wards and stuff like that. They're playing this quite well.
If we're honest about this, hi-5 are making a lot of mistakes. They're winning they're winning big fights, they're getting the major control of the game, but then they're just overplaying things too much. And by doing that, they're allowing Salt Shakers to feel like they've still got a chance in this one. They could have put this game to bed already, and they haven't done. They've made a couple of rookie mistakes, which they know themselves they've made them, and they've just like focused once again and picked up those double kills after that goal fury after losing 3 members for nothing. So a couple of misplays from hi-5. Honestly, they could have potentially been in a much stronger position than they are. But credit to Salt Shakers for not giving up and abusing the mistakes that hi-5 have made. The lack of respect that hi-5 have given them means that Salt Shakers are still in contention for this one.
Indeed. So with that, it seems the pause is still going on for the time being at least, and the crabs are dead, Hindu. Or at least frozen in time.
The crabs
Kronos is
are
pulling
dead.
some little oddity. Maybe Tim's angry at the moment or something like that, not letting the crabs
It's
continue.
because it's a pause, it's not stasis mode. There's a difference.
Yeah.
When stasis mode, the crabs move. When it's paused, even the crabs stand still. Guys, we'll take a moment and cut to a quick break. It's a bit of a long pause, unfortunately. We would just walk forward, wait, and just see if it does take a little bit of a short time. Looks like El Chapu needs to power up his internet hamster once again. We'll be back momentarily once the game unpauses. Apologies for the delay.
Alright guys, hello, we are back. The pause has since ended. hi-5 going up against Salt Shakers this one still. They have a little bit of a lead right now, but hi-5 are not really running away with this one as of yet anyway.
Yeah, they're not running away from it right now. Right side, you can see Lawbring was actually just used then by Tyr to jump over the water farm, the minion wave, and everything's back to normal for now. 10-7 is the scoreline in this one. 3,000 experience lead for hi-5, just under 4,000 gold lead as well for them. They're in a pretty strong position in this game right now, but Salt Shakers have held on for now. We'll see if they can continue to do so and try and climb their way back in, because as the game goes on, that late game isn't that bad. Xbalanque, yeah, Poseidon, you know, Bellona's there too, and then Awilix will get there eventually. She's just a little bit behind right now.
It's here on the right side of the map. Actually, look at the proxy farm between towers right now. Potentially risky play, but nobody is really in a position to rotate over and capitalize on this and look to lock him down on that side of the map. So, relatively safe play by him. He's going to rotate back out safely. Look for some, well, mid-harpies that aren't spawning yet. They're looking for a pick right here.
Yeah, they are looking for a pick, but look at Poseidon. Look at his position. He's so safe in the center. I say that and he walked forward. I'm sorry, Poseidon. I'm sorry, Poseidon.
Why did you do that to him? What did he ever do to you? Darkest Night's
Forgive
coming
me,
out.
MJ. It is out, but there's nothing else they're going to really do. They're trying to help out the mid laners a little bit too late. Thor on the left-hand side, though, going aggressive. El Chapu might be able to find a kill here onto Gab. The knock-up is not going to work because he had spin to win. Being channeled, not going to find the kill, but there's a dive in mid that finds one. They're looking for a second.
Bird Bomb from El Bachacha, rather, not going to connect. They have a minion wave here to push into this tower. And they could potentially look for something. The Spirit Ball will not connect. That's probably going to mean a disengage coming out from hi-5. You see Tyr heading back to the right side. Harpy Camp, what they have just spawned. That'll be a little bit for those guys to pick up.
Check out El Chapu. This is genius, right? El Chapu's DC'd here, but he's still going to be a ward for his team. That's team play. That's team play. He's going to walk into the wall there, provide team play, and ward coverage for his team so they know where he is. Look at this. He's genius. Absolute genius. See? Constantly back fake back in as well in recall form, and you can just give position, go for your control for his team. Get blinks in though, Cataclysm, knockup comes out, and there's the engagement. The Eagles rally into the ring though, but it looks like Elbow Chacho will go down. Mayo is going to chase onto Nonton.
Yep, they're going to be able to chase him away. It's a 3-man grouping here by Salt Shakers right now. Only 2 members of hi-5 left on this side of the jungle. El Chapu has reconnected, so we will be here potentially if a fight does break out, but with that Wrath of Gods removed from the game for the next 17 seconds, this looks like it could be a very quick, easy pickup for Salt Shakers, putting a Gold Fury tally on their side of the scoreboard. But they're looking to contest this. Good Spirit Ball plus a double tap finds a kill. There's a second one coming in. Vulture gets a kill onto Gab. They're looking for small mail locked down. Gold Fury was picked up. A third kill, looking for the fourth as well as Thor's up in the air.
Thor is up in the air, Nonton chasing in, not going to be able to find it. The dunk down was actually for Poseidon, but he doesn't find it, does El Chapu. He dived under the tower, El Chapu, no, don't do it, Nonton. He's going to live for now though, but he's very, very low on HP after that dive. They could have picked up Bellona in mid. They don't find it. They do find the red buff though, and this tier 1 tower in mid should also fall down. Meanwhile, Tyr finds right.
He is looking to invade the jungle as well, take the speed buff away from Awilix. Mana buff, I imagine, will be not too far behind. That is given, well, nobody is yet out of the base to actually stop him from doing this. He's a little low in mana, so he will have to be careful and pick up the speed buff. That does mean he'll be able to move around the map a little more freely with that tower down. He's going to be looking to group up here in the near future.
Yeah, he should be able to just be able to rotate around as often as he wants. He's got teleport as well available, shielded teleport, so quite free to roam the map whenever he wants to, and continue pushing that lane so far, and then still able end up in those team fights if required. So at the moment, hi-5 steps on the gas again a little bit, jumped up to just under 9,000 experience and over 5,000 gold too.
Yeah, nice little lead game built up by those guys. Soul Shaker's looking at that graph. They've kind of at least stabilized. The gold chart at least has kind of plateaued, hasn't really gone anywhere in a little while, about the past 8 minutes or so. The experience graph, though, is a different story. Darkness Knight's coming out, looking for a kill into Elchipoo right side. He has no mana for that hammer. Lawbringer from Tyr, though, they look to save Thor's life. Will they be able to do so? Good feelers under the tower. Thor, however, Elchipoo not going to survive that.
Good.
Whirlpool coming
Gurge
out.
was good from Swavey there, and then with the support of Poseidon, just going to be able to defend for now. Awilix did rotate over here, as did Elbro Chacho, but it's Awilix that needs to be a little bit careful in this position here. She does have Tyr in support. There's the shield, but the Spirit Ball did great damage. Wing goes Kraken connects with 2, not enough to kill anyone though, and Elbro Chacho still chasing for this kill on Odin.
Yeah, their circle protection dropped down, still charging up, looking for that big damage. Big kill. Vulture secures the kill onto Bellona. They're looking for more feelers forward from Tyr, trying to lock down some of these kills. Geb turning back around, realizing he's probably not getting into this one, just going to look to buy time for his other 2 teammates to actually escape successfully, and they're just turning tail and running as far away as they possibly can. They're recalling it to Tier 2. Vulture will spot them recalling Spirit Ball, not going to be long enough range to find that interrupt onto Poseidon. So the other 2 members of Soul Shakers will make it out alive. They did get that kill onto Elchipoo, but in the end, they lost 2 members for the attempt.
Yeah, it was a really messy fight over there, honestly. We saw Swabby try and go aggressive on the Thor, didn't find the kill, and then after he got picked up, Awilix came in, and the whole team rotated round, and hi-5 with the one that pretty much cleaned up that engagement, gives Tyr more free farm over in this right-hand lane. Now Awilix is going to go over here to defend it, but it's against the Tyr, and Tyr very tanky right now, level 17 with Hide of the Urchin, with already 2 stacks on it as well, and there's a full combo from a Tyr, and that's how much HP you take off. Left side though, Mayo was in a bit of trouble.
He's looking to recall the tower, realizing maybe that was not the best spot. There's the Blink. Ringer Spears drop down from Odin, looking for this kill. Straight for Shout Charge. Bird Bomb not going to be needed. Vulture picks that one up with the Spirit Ball shot. Left side, Tier 1 tower, not long for this world. Geb's on his way, but there's really not much he's going to be able to do against this 4-man grouping from hi-5. Over in the right lane, Tier's still split pushing, and Awilix is really still not able to deal with him.
Nope, there's nothing he can really do. He's 5 levels down on him in Medieval. He might go aggressive here with the Lawbringer. Actually connects for the slow. There's a power cleave into a Fearless. Sorry, Fearless into a power cleave. But then he misses the other one. So he's just going to disengage. And Swabby, though, left hand side, finds a kill on Prochacho. They're looking for more.
He's going to find the second kill as well. Looking to chase down, maybe secure 1 or 2 more. Nanton can't disperse out of that Whirlpool. That cripple does prevent that, unfortunately. Hammer teleport from Thor, going to buy time. Beads Force for that cooldown reduction to get that Tectonic Rift out. They're looking to kind of get counter-engage here, but Elchipoo is so low in health, this is going to be a risky play.
It is a risky place, but Medieval's here. He's going to go aggressive with the Fearless Power Cleave, not find anything else though for now. Elchipoo wants more. There's a wall double tap, but it's not enough to bring down Swabby. There's a Blink Gap Cataclysm. Whirlpool secures Elchipoo, and meanwhile Medieval's going to be able to secure Swabby in response though. Non-Tom with that pillar is going to buy some time for the disengage, but Xbalanque is here.
He has Rising Jaguar forward. Poison Darts connected onto Tyr. Medieval's not looking like he's getting this one turning around. Caught in that Whirlpool once again. He's going to be able to feelers back, trying to save the life of Nanton. They're splitting up, looking for both kills. Medieval's still alive. Nanton's still alive. Mayo looking for this kill. Awilix finds the kill onto Medieval in the jungle. They got that final pick they were looking for. Hi-5, I can't just overstay their welcome in that one. Health bars got low. They had the opportunity to fully disengage, and well, they got counter-engaged on one. Soul Checker saw the opportunity. Now they're looking for Tier 1 for themselves.
They'll be able to get the Tier 1 left hand side here. Elbro Chacho could dive into this, but if he does, he's not going to be able to find kills. That's the issue. He's waiting for teammates for backup. He's going to try and stop them from backing until we see Vulture turn up here on this Isis and Nanton as well. Keep an eye on him. He's baiting here. This is a bait more than anything else. He doesn't want them to back. They're going to try and chase onto it, but I don't know if they'll find anything. It's a question. Oh, yes, they will. Mayo.
He got locked down his Ring of Spear. Circle Protection dropped him as well. Smack down in the center of that one. Popping that for the kill. Small Mayo will fall. They got to Tier 1. They can get out now. Will still be a decent trade, but it looks like Geb as well is going to get caught down. One more Spirit Ball from Vulture just to lock down that kill. And right now, with nobody else really over on this side of the map, hi-5 going to take this opportunity to look to pick up their 3rd gold for the game. Awilix nearby. She does have Wrath of the Gods for a steal if she can find it, but Shifting Sands already dropped down. Elchipoo position as well, zone out. Not going to be able to get there. Might get picked up, gonna leap away, but Gold Fury went to hi-5.
It did. So I was going aggressive again onto El Chapu. There was some good damage coming out with that shield up and available to block some of these shots, but he can't block a Spirit Ball to the face. There's an Impale into the wall, and now you're going to see some damage come out as the Kraken does not connect with anything from Poseidon. El Chapu trying to live against Swavi, who 3v1 that as well as eating some CC, and now El Chachi on the backline trying to find Poseidon.
Desert Fury coming out, looking for Poseidon, does find it, looking for Swavi here potentially as well. Spirit Ball connects through the wall. They may not have the follow-up damage, however, good Stone Shield, plus that Shockwave from Gab going to deter any possible chase coming out any further. The attack speed buff will get stolen away, a little extra consolation prize there for hi-5, but Salt Shakers, they played that one reasonably well, found a kill to kind of answer back. It was 1-for-1 overall in the end, but overall that fight went reasonably well for those guys, aside from the fact that the Gold Fear unfortunately went to hi-5.
It did. I mean, I'm gonna say I am impressed with Salt Shakers' duo lane this game. They've done a pretty good job of like stemming bleeding. Their scoreline isn't the greatest for that duo line, but they've done a very good job of like not giving away too much. Gab's shields have been pretty much on point, as have his Blink Cataclysms too. And he's actually picked up a kill or two for himself, realizing he had the damage potential, which is something a lot of Gabs don't realize how much they can get a kill. Medieval right inside though, gonna try and steal away the blue buff from Swavi. Not gonna find it though, as the rest of hi-5 go back to clearing out their jungle. We can see a bit of a grouping from Salt Shakers on the right. Potential Fire Giant wardage coming up. Yeah.
You're talking about that bleed as well. Looking at that graph, the past 11 minutes or so, hi-5 have only been able to actually get about 1.5k additional gold in the bank. That's not really a lot. Experience as well has kind of stagnated the past 5 minutes, so it's been up and down, as Salt Shakers have found a couple kills to answer back. Experience as well, Vulture already level 20, Tyr just about to hit level 20 as well, so that experience is going to be less and less actual experience on these gods. So Salt Shaker's going to have a decent little opportunity in the near future to find themselves a way back in. Darkest Knights coming out a little defensively, but Swabi's on spot of trouble in the right lane.
Yeah, he's going to most get out, but Swabi is here as well. The wall double tap comes out, spin to win onto Swabi, but Swabi's going to be able to trade back here and cause a lot of issues.
Yeah, El Chapu getting very, very low. Hammer teleport out. Bellona Eagles rally forward, looking for this kill. Spin to win. Looking for the offensive beads to manage to buy himself some time, but it was not enough. Tier 1 tower on the right side about to fall as well, but Swavi looking to get out. Shield Bash drop down. Ring of Spears from Thor, from Odin rather, is available. There's the Circle Protection drop down to secure that. Vulture right now 10, 1, and 9 is just doing work this game.
He has a good call from Salt Shakers though to pick up that mid lane tower in the meantime. They were in the position to try and support their teammates, so they're trying to get out now at the moment, and they should all be able to disengage here. May or might be collapsed on here on this left hand side though.
Yeah, Nantan responded to that pretty well. Rising Jaguar for small Mayo to get back into the mid lane. It's a 3v3 grouping, plus Odin a little bit further behind as Geb looks to arrive. They're probably not going to be able to take down this tier 2 tower with 4 members defending it. There's not really much else on the map right now, unless hi-5 really look for a big play to contest that, like force a Fire Giant right now. But with one member of their own team down for a little while, it would be a little bit of a risky play right now. A Blink Cataclysm into the Fire Giant pit from Geb would be a little bit rough to deal with, potentially.
It's just these two in the jungle right now, just trying to catch them on a rotation at hi-5, but they're sat in a ward, unfortunately. They were hoping Non-Ton goes on splits left-hand side and catch through their own jungle. But they're staying grouped together. There was no reason to go aggressive there. They'll be able to rotate around now to where Non-Ton is and defend that wave coming in. Tyr's just splitting off from right side for the time being. It's going to be a bit of a neutral time for a few minutes. Fire Giant, like you said, though, is available for both teams to try and go for. If Salt Shakers do manage to secure it, though, I think we could be in for a longer and more interesting game.
Definitely. Right sides, we saw earlier Awilix trying to stop that split push from Medieval. It was not working too well. Bellona, on the other hand, definitely more than able to deal with Medieval. He's not going to be able to look to bully her 1v1 at this point in the game. He could potentially look to just finish the tower off, but it would be a pretty risky play. He would pay for it with his life, but, you know, 1,500 gold for one kill, not the worst thing, but we're just talking about Fire Giant. You don't want to give the other team a power play, which could potentially result in you guys losing the Fire Giant in the long run.
For sure. I mean, I think this is what Salt Shakers are trying to do now. They're trying to stem the bleeding as much as possible. They've lost their outer towers. They've still got all their tier 2s standing, though. And so the map situation at the moment is even for both sides in terms of map presence for those towers and places to fall back to. Just that right-hand side tower on Salt Shakers' side is a little bit lower than they would like it to be. Savvy trading off once again with Medieval in this lane. They can't potentially really kill each other here, but if a rotation comes out from El Chapu and this Gab, there's a potential for a pick.
Tectonic Rift is down. Swabi going to look to fight this one out again. 1v2. Not really a bad situation for Bellona. As Reinforce is nearby, Odin does find Geb in that Ring of Spears. Awilix sleeping out the Summon Suku. Cataclysm popped. They're trying to fight this one out, trying to find kills. Thor's down.
Awilix does get aggressed on though. She did a great pull onto that elbow just to stop the bird bomb, but still, the Geb is in trouble. He's got the shield up, knocks up to try and live as long as he can. He's gonna fall down as medieval zones out the remaining team members. Finally, Xbalanque does about a blink in from elbow Chacho. He's not good enough to slow him down. They're gonna try and steal away the speed buff here. They do find the kill on the support. They could look for the fire.
They could. Looks like they're going to go for objectives instead. Gold Fury getting started up on the left side of the map by Nantan right now. I want to see them go for the tier 2 mid tower right now. Just force this fight out potentially. See this go to group, and they have the opportunity. Bellona is not a part of this right now, so it'll be a 3v4 for the next couple of seconds. She's picking up that mana buff. They have begun to aggress this tier 2 tower. Nantan looking for the Gold Fury. This could be a big play, but they're looking to fight it back. Awilix in the front line. Elbow Chacho tanking up that tower right now is going to be forced to back off. Not a lot of damage getting through to it in the end.
But they do get the Gold Fury while this is all going on. They're just buying time for Nantan to pick that up for free. Get a little bit of poke damage on. They're going to steal away red buff as well as Ultra, or at least he's trying to at the moment. He needs one more in hand. I don't think he's found it. He needs to crack him for his troubles, and that cripple is going to be enough to bring him down. Xbalanque going aggressive now onto Bolcher in the jungle. He's got Sammy coming around the side. Bolcher's in a lot of trouble here. There's an Eagles rally, and that's going to be a nice burst from the circle of protection. Bolcher's still going to go down though. Meanwhile, bro, Chacho is in a ring, and he doesn't want to be there anymore.
Indeed, he's running away to the left line. Reinforcements collapsing in right now. Awilix on a feather step over the head of Mevo on the left side. Swanmayo finds that kill into Elbow Chacho. So far, it is 3-0 going in favor of Salt Shakers, and they're looking to clean this up. Cataclysm from Geb, locking this down. Medieval, he's tier, he's tanky. Full deicide coming out. This is going to be a call straight across the map for Fire Giant. They're going to get this one nice big prize on the tail of that team fight going the way of Salt Shakers. There's no way I'm stopping this.
This all started because they tried to steal away the red buff. They tried to steal away the red buff. Alchapu got caught there, and then the follow-up from the boys of Salt Shakers was fantastic. The turnaround was real. They're going to get a fire giant. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win the game off this, but they could potentially take some of these towers down, or even a Phoenix if they get the opportunity to. The respawn times aren't that long yet. You can see that most of the members will be back up if they do go for a tier 2, but it buys Salt Shakers time now.
Another big factor as well. The Fire Giant is about, from the physical power and magical power it gives, it's about 6,000 gold worth of stats. That does mean Salt Shakers, with those Fire Giant belts across the entire team, have a small gold advantage, technically speaking. And there's also that nice regen, the extra damage to towers, and all that fun stuff on the Fire Giant buff as well. But, in a full-on team fight, once again, if I5 aren't careful, Salt Shakers are technically not behind right now. A level or two here or there, maybe, but pretty much they're back on even footing.
I mean, the gold's a little bit of an issue, but it's not too much that is insurmountable. They have the chance to continue farming up now, and it's going to stop hi-5 from trying to go aggressive just because they lost that engagement. And on top of that, they've got Fire Giant now. So what hi-5 will try and do is just hold where they are for the time being, potentially look for somebody who gets themselves caught out of position. Meanwhile, Salt Shakers have to try and make a decision about how they want to play this one out now. Do they want to try and take towers, or do they want to just farm up and buy themselves more time and look for another one of those engagements again?
Salt Shakers could potentially take some tier 2 towers out for free. We don't see the left and right side, or even tier 2 towers in general, left and right side especially, not often that we see proper defenses mounted for them. Hi-5 may look to do it, however. The Ring of Spears means they look to dive. Somebody's not getting away from that tower. Only Awilix and Bellona can potentially get out right now. There's no combat blink online. Geb, he can blink in potentially, but that's going to be about it. Soul Shakers want these objectives. They want to get that gold on their side of the board, but hi-5 at this point really could kind of go toe-to-toe with the help of a tower coming in to help them defend. So Soul Shakers, like I said, have a bit of a decision on their hands here in the near future. Or right now.
Well, hi-5 are playing this right. What you can see is that Tears sat on the right-hand side here, Medieval sat in the right-hand side jungle, and if they try and walk too far forward, he'll blink in behind, look for an engagement. They're trying to keep Salt Shakers from pushing. Salt Shakers, though, seem quite happy to just play this safe for the time being. They've got the Fire Giant, they're buying themselves time to continue working on this experience differential, trying to climb themselves back up to finish a few more items and get themselves rolling again. They're not out of this game, but this Fire Giant might not be used as we'd normally see.
Yeah, this is kind of a biased time Fire Giant. It would be risky, I think would be the way to put it. Salt Shakers, they don't want to over-aggress right now. They know that gold-wise they're behind. They know experience-wise they're still slightly behind right now. They're looking to play this as safe as possible. They want to find a pick, but hi-5 probably not going to let them do so. There's sentry wards placed down right now all over the place. Anywhere not sentry warded down, these teams know the potential for a pick is there if they don't have wards all around it as well. So, like you said, for the next minute and 20 seconds while the Fire Giant belt is still being adorned by the entire Salt Shakers lineup, I very much doubt we'll see any fighting come out unless somebody is just horribly out of positioning, just flat out caught in the jungle. So they look just kind
it's
of
hard to get out of position when there's so much wall coverage at the moment. It's going to be very difficult to catch somebody out of position as well, as most teams will be very, very careful about where they're going. You can see it's basically 50-50 in terms of where the minions are placed right now. And only Vulture's been the one greedy enough to try and go forward and push out that wave just in case. He's going to be careful though. He's got wards down, so he can see a potential for it. And he's just waiting around patiently now. Talking about builds though, we can have a little check on this Bellona. Bellona, someone that's relatively new still in terms of competitive play. Reinforced Hammer, Igval online. Hiding the minion line is something that we don't see very often. I'm surprised we've actually seen that one here. And Executioner was also picked up as well for some extra attack speed to go with the Igval. Hiding minion line is not a bad item, but normally it's better things in the slot. It's not something you usually see. And it looks like El Chapu is DC'd again, and they don't have any pauses remaining, so high five going to have to continue without here.
That is unfortunate. The big thing with the hiding the minion line, though, what Bellona's looking to do is combo that with the Shield of the Underworld. When those basic attacks are coming in from a physical damage, is it only physical damage in the hide? Just double check that. Basic attack damage as magical damage. So even a mage, pretty much everybody is going to be basic attacking during a fight. When she's, so 20% of the damage she's taken, sort of 20%. Any basic attack damage, she's reflecting 20% back. When she pops that Shield of the Underworld, that number jumps up a huge amount while that's actually active. As tanky as she is, she can absorb a ton of damage just in general. So she's going to be just reflecting a huge amount back. What is our health pool?
You know what? We chose the one game that had pause, isn't it? Out of all the games we could have done, I believe so, yeah. Because now we've got to pause again as IMJ is DC'd as well. So the good news is it buys high five time for El Chapu to come back too here. But we can continue talking about builds as well. I mean, we've also got the Awilix. Awilix is something we don't see very often either.
She's... I completely missed when it happened. You called it out in that one big last team fight on the right side of the map. She actually saved somebody's life pulling Odin out of the air with the bird bomb active. I missed when it happened. I wanted to see it. I said it during picks and bans, and I just didn't see it. It's like, darn.
She didn't manage to do it. It was bursting onto Gab, but she pulled him. The worst thing is, though, is that El Chapu was in the air at the exact moment as well, so dunked down onto her, and then she got focused down immediately. But Awilix says she got Jotun's online, has Magi's Lesson, one of those times that she really wants to get it in and amongst the team fight, and it looks like she's working towards Shifter Shield, is that? I believe it is. Currently at the moment. No, it's not Shifters, is it?
It's a Void Shield.
It's a Void Shield.
Or is that the split?
Interesting.
It builds into something.
There's a Witchblade coming out on tier as well.
The one thing I'm curious about, the Heavy Hammer. DM Brandon insists, which I'm actually inclined to agree with it as well to a decent extent, Frostbound Hammer in Season 2 is an insane item. It's very good. The health on it was dropped down to only 300 when it's fully built up. But more importantly, the slow is increased up to 30% over the Heavy Hammer. And more importantly, it has an attack speed slow attached to it now. That's new in Season 2.
It's such a core item for Bellona, though, just because of how her passive works in terms of giving her protections and mobility to keep chasing. You speed yourself up by just auto-attacking. The slow allows you to continue those auto-attacks, and then you're reducing their attack speed too. Plus, it gives you health and power, so you're dealing great damage with it. It's not an unusual item to see on a Bellona. It's pretty much, it should be core on her. And one or two other gods, it can be used and be, put to good use. It can stop you having to get haste and fatalis in some senses as well. And some of the gods that do like to pick those up and replace it with a heavy hammer.
Indeed. She's also very tanky. I mean, this team setup is like the... Bellona's a perfect pick in this team composition. She was picked up rather early, don't get me wrong. I believe she was actually one of their first 2 picks, so she was picked up immediately because she was available. But going up against a 4 physical damage team, yeah, Tyr and Thor, and to an extent Odin as well, are fairly heavily reliant on their abilities to actually do damage. But once those abilities are actually used up, it all comes down to those basic attacks. And Scourge
What do you think about Vulture's Polynomicon?
I like Polynomicon.
On Isis. On Isis?
I like the item in general. Back when it was reduced, I believe it was originally back in Season 1, 100% of your magical power as bonus damage, and it was like this huge extra burst of damage. When you look at the numbers overall, I see Kret lurking in chat here. Maybe he'll chime in as well. He probably has like all the math done already, perhaps, but still 50% of the damage or magical power coming out. Right now, Isis is sitting at 475, so that means her next attack after an ability is going to be doing an additional 235 damage or so. That's a pretty decent chunk of damage when you weep. Yeah, that's the key thing there. It's the next basic attack is not the next successful one. You miss, well, you blew it.
I mean, that's why you can see it. Like, it's very similar to hi-rez on someone like Loki, who pretty much can guarantee that next basic attack after an assassinate or after a vanish to do the extra burst. But on Isis, you've only really got Spirit Ball to actually guarantee the next auto attack to an extent. Not too bad on Scylla, I guess, as well, because of the cripple off the Sikkim, that you can instantly, auto attack straight afterwards to confirm the damage there. I'm not sure about an Isis, because it's like very difficult for her to. Not all her abilities are that easy to land an auto attack afterwards. I guess is my feeling behind it.
And chat has corrected me to 60% on Polynomicon. And
you're useless, Sidon. You're useless. You're going to get a Reddit post now. You're going to get a Reddit post calling you out, saying you're so bad you don't know what you're talking about.
Kret, our hero and savior with the numbers, has informed us. It's a good item. You have 500 or so magical power, and you actually hit the attack. Like we just said, you miss. Well, yeah, about that. It's unfortunate.
Well, there's the on-pause happening for you, and there we got through it. We knew it was going to be too much longer. Go through your spawn. Very, very soon. Actually, he's just spawned, I believe. On the left-hand side, Nanton's already began it on that side, and that will be dropped down very, very quickly by the boys of Hi-5. Be interesting to see if they actually use the hog here. Awilix is coming over, though, and she might spot this one out.
She knows it's here, going in, looking for the steal. Salt Shakers will steal it away. Can she get back out? And Ring of Spears drop down. Well, it's 1,500 gold. Overall, a big game, but with Fire Giant about to come up in 40 seconds, she'll be up just a little late. If Salt Shakers can delay for just a couple seconds, Awilix will have time to get over here to the right side of the map. That said, though,
well, Chacha won't be happy with that. I mean, he used the hog as well and didn't actually secure it. The good news is, though, Medieval did have hog 3, so that he wasn't a problem losing it. Lawbringer gets used by Medieval there, trying to chase onto Small Mail, but nothing comes out from that. Heavenly Agility's popped here straight away. They're looking to chase onto the Gab. Can they find the ring? They cannot find the ring in time. Actually, the ring's already on cooldown. I apologise for that. And the Fire Giant due to spawn in 14 seconds. If they could find a pick here, that's what they're looking for. So they could potentially try and do the Fire Giant again, but they're all still standing. And Hi-5, disengage.
Heavenly Agility is a 90-second cooldown active as well, so that's going to be down here for a little while. They're going back to base. Fire Giant did just respawn right now. Still a couple guys from Hi-5 lurking nearby. They do not want to give Salt Shakers an opportunity to just sneak that one in for free. Mid lane, Nanton's going to find himself a little Poseidon, but nothing really gained or lost. Actually, excuse me, Nanton took a decent chunk of health. From the Kraken from Poseidon was used, but life-stealing back up. He's going to actually go back to base and heal fully, but yeah. That burst coming out from the Kraken Whirlpool combo from Poseidon is still doing a lot at this point in the game. In the middle of a team fight could absolutely be devastating.
It really could be devastating indeed, and you can see these damages starting to come online now. Runner 2, he's already been finished. He's also got Chronos Pendant online. Looks like he's either going for Book of Thoth here, or he'll be going for Soul Reaver. Either or is relatively good on him. Obviously, Book of Thoth late game is super, super strong. So we'll see if he actually does pick that one up. At the moment, though, you can see Hi-5 in a rough position because Ultra Pro is still DC'd and the rules, all their pauses have been used. They have to continue without Tim for now. So it's now a 4v5 game for the boys of Hi-5, and they really need to win this one to stay in contention this week and try and get themselves into the top 4 positioning. So they've got to try and win this 4v5, and now this game is going to be a long one, I suspect, between the two, unless another DSI comes out, or at least a Quadra for the boys of Salt Shakers. There's an engagement coming out from Xbalanque.
They're looking to catch anyone they possibly can. Ring of Spears drop down. They're looking for the quick pick. They do find Small Mail. It's a lot of damage to move, but Poseidon with that Kraken combo answers back with a kill. Desert Fury across a whole lot of them, but Nanton is right now being zoned out by Suave, and he's doing a good job of doing it. Gonna force Nanton to disperse back out of this fight as El Chacho charges that shout, looking to do some more damage here potentially, but Salt Shakers have the power play 3 before going forward right now.
They do. Big crit, though, onto Poseidon, and Poseidon's going to have to back away for now. Medieval can tank up the front line for a little bit, and Minion Wave is coming in here, but they don't have anyone who is ranged to bring down this tower. They're all melee gods, Awilix and Bellona. Their AD carry did go down in the engagement. Now, Brochacho goes aggressive again with a good bird bomb onto Geb. They're not going to find a kill, but Medieval is here in support once again.
And Suave not carrying the slightest, 1v3, and happy to be in this spot. Scourge coming down, disarm going to be good, save her life. She's not Ring of Spears, Bird Bomb, but right now the damage might not be there. Stone Shrimp from Geb will be up in a second. They can look to disengage. Lawbringer does come out, but will not connect for damage. They are probably not going to be able to find much more, and they see them just falling back to defend the Tier 2 tower in the mid lane. Has 3 more members of Salt Shakers still sitting around, looking to push some minions forward, but the wave clear was there.
Considering this is a 4v5, they did a good job, Hi-5, and not actually losing anything there. They lost a couple of kills, sorry, a couple of lives, but what they didn't lose was the Fire Giant, and they didn't lose a Tier 2 tower either, so they still hold once again. They're not lost anything in that engagement, or they've all managed to respawn in good time, and now they're going to be able to defend the Fire Giant if it gets attempted by the boys of Salt Shakers. You can see they've just returned back to base themselves now and started clearing their own jungle once again. We're in a bit of a deadlock situation here right now.
Yep. Poseidon picking up that damage buff. That's just even more coming out of that Kraken combo. He is currently sitting on 551 magical power. It's going to be hurting quite a bit if he manages to find one of those squishy targets, which, let's face it, it is between Isis and Nanton right now on Anhur. The other two, not going to be phased by it in the slightest. Both of those guys have pretty high defenses. But with the opportunity, counter-warding going on for this Fire Giant, they could potentially look for a little bit of a fight, look for a pick. They have some options here on the side of Salt Shakers. But again, they don't want to necessarily go into a big fight. That Circle Protection is a very, very vital ability when it comes to a Fire Giant fight in Steel because it charges so quickly and sets up a burst of Wrath of God Steel.
Well, war coverage is a little bit low from hi-5 right now. Elbow Chacho doesn't have any. Bolcher's got 3, though, one of those being a sentry, obviously, that he's just placed down for coverage of his own jungle. But that means they're going to have to position themselves very, very carefully. Blink engagement coming out, forcing the bees onto Bolcher immediately. Geb's still chasing on. Meanwhile, Bro Chacho on the front line might ring in 4 here with the bird bomb, but he may go down for it.
He has Medievals into this one as well. Pulled back in, not able to lunge out of that ring of spears. Bolcher gets a kill though with that Circle Protection. Suave answers back onto Elbow Chacho, looking to go back into the right side. Good impale coming out from Suave, allowing Nanton to keep some distance from these guys. He's going to disperse back, look to join his team back up. Right now, this fight's going either way. Health bar is dropping on the side of Salt Shakers pretty quickly.
Nanton's trying to bring down Geb here, but he's getting aggressed on by Suave as well. Desert Fury does do some good damage. Good Spirit Ball over the wall from Bolcher to support his teammate, but Awilix goes aggressive onto Bolcher in mid lane. He's looking for the Feather Step, but on the backside, a spear to the back of the neck brings down the Awilix, and that engagement goes 2 for 1 in favor of hi-5. When they're 4v5, they have potential to go for a fight. It's risky, but they're choosing not to. They're a little bit too low.
That came down to Salt Shakers grouping up with an Odin on the enemy team, and kind of the icing on the cake for hi-5. They had also an Isis with that Circle Protection, which charges up quite quickly in the middle of the fight this late in the game, and that just completely devastated the Salt Shaker health bars. Suave's health bar, speaking of health bars, is dropping quickly, but he's coming from behind, looking for some kills. Bolcher's low, but Medieval's zoning him back out. It's like, get out of here, fish guy. We don't want you here anymore.
No, but re-engagement coming out from Suave again. He's going to find some damage onto Nanton, but the beads are good, but the damage coming out actually secures the kill. And Nanton takes out Suave, but they do lose Bolcher in trade for that. They're going to potentially look for this right-hand side. Nanton's going to heal up off these minions. Maybe they'll look for the tier 2 tower over here, or will they look for the Fire Giant with Bro Chacho being here? Looks like Nanton's going to base.
It would be fairly risky. At this point in the game, Nanton probably could solo the Fire Giant in all honesty. The lifesteal is pretty heavy. The damage he's doing is really good as well. But it would still be risky. Those guys kind of sniff it out. They'll head over and respond immediately. There's still a ward sitting there as well. They actually did not have a sentry ward available to clear it, so it would have been probably a pretty big misplay by hi-5 because they would have been well aware of that going on. But with this final back, that's going to be Deathbringer online for Anhur. He's sitting only still Ichval to sell off. He could look for that triple crit build, picking up Malice here in just a little bit. He is going to be hurting. I haven't actually talked about damage so far this game. Nanton and Bolcher sitting up highest damage for team, but Suave right now built pretty tanky and sitting top damage for Salt Shakers right now.
I'm calling about 7 minutes the hi-5 have to try and end this game. Otherwise, they're going to lose it. Just based on the 4v5 scenario. Yeah. The longer this goes on, the bigger Salt Shakers get, the more they catch up in terms of gold, which is only 3k difference. Experience isn't going to matter too much. They've got about 7 minutes left. But if this Fire Giant goes down, that'll be nullified very, very quickly. They have to fight soon, hi-5, and they have to make a big play happen. Bolcher's on his way back, and here we go for the Fire Giant dance.
And Medieval fearlessing through the middle of that Fire Giant pit. Not going to find much this particular time around. They're looking to force this fight right now. Salt Shakers, though, have to be careful. If they get caught grouped up again like that last team fight, it will once again be absolutely devastating. They have so much AoE damage coming out on the side of hi-5. There's Darkest Nights coming in. Blink Cataclysm not going to find anybody, however. This is a little bit of a misstep initially, but they're going to look to maybe disengage, but they're getting zoned out. Another good Ring of Spears. Medieval finds one, looking for a small mayo as well. Nanton finds that one.
The Kraken does go down though, does decent damage. Meanwhile, Bolcher zoning out Geb. As you can see, Suave going aggressive against 3. He's looking for the pickups of Nanton. Nanton leaps away though, and now the attention turns to Suave from the rest of the team. They're trying to bring him down. Boy, he goes rowdy over the wall. Nanton gets a flag to the face, and now Geb is going to fall too. Hi-5 are trying to hold on. They've got 3 members versus 2 with 1 DC. Can they still keep the pressure on? They might just go for the tier 2 here on the right. I think that's what the call might be.
It's definitely an option. It's very, very low. It'll drop so quickly. The problem is Salt Shakers need to look to force the objectives in the jungle, but hi-5 have such a great jungle team fight right now. The Ring of Spears, the Circle Protection. Fearless is coming out from tier as well. Nanton, when people get lined up in these little jungle pathways, Desert Fury potentially hits for multiple people worth of damage. Salt Shakers are not going to have an easy time winning these team fights in the jungle. Suave is zoning out people beautifully, but that 3-man little combo that hi-5 are having in that front line, Suave, they don't really care about him. They're ignoring Suave with that Bellona going in the backline. Sorry, you're chasing down our AD carry. We don't care. The rest of us will just kill the rest of your team meanwhile.
So if 40 minutes in now, they've still got it. They've got a tier 2 tower, which is a little bit more gold, a little bit more map presence for them. If they win another engagement, the Phoenix is available to them if they can't feel strong enough to do the Fire Giant. But at the moment, they're still running out of time. Time is ticking away, and that is what is going to be against them. If they can hold for longer, we could be in for like a 70-minute game here, honestly. How this is playing out right now.
It could definitely go long. Small Mayo just finished out his build. He's sitting 6 items. On the other side, Ichival was sold off by Nantan. He went for an Assy. It's a lot more lifesteal. It is so deceptive when an AD carry with the Assy late game. They start getting so low on health, and suddenly they get that extra big chunk of lifesteal, and their health just starts shooting up 250 or so health per attack. And with as much attack speed as he has, that's going to be occurring so often. It's like Bellona thinks he has him, and suddenly his health is back up half, back up almost to full, and he's looking to fight all over again.
Yeah, it's definitely useful to have available to him. Remember, though, he's only can occur once every 15 seconds for 5 seconds, so he's got to make sure he lands auto attacks during that time. Otherwise, he'll put it to waste, and he could have potentially gone for something like a Odysseus bow, which could have helped him out. But we'll see how the boys at High Five are going to play this out. War coverage coming down from Bolcher once again, clearing up. Finally, Salt Shakers look like they're going to try and split push to victory now. They've sent Mayo over to this left-hand side. They're going to get a tier 2 tower in response for the one they lost earlier. Engagement onto Nonson, who gets force beads, though. They might continue the aggression on it, but they do force beads for free. Brochacho going aggressive onto Awilix, who pounces away, which is going to get ringed up. Meanwhile, though, Suave is here on the backside looking for Nonton.
1v2, looking to zone out, does not find the kill. Nantan gets on Poseidon, finds Brochacho, though. Medieval forced to run away from this. Awilix not gonna survive. There's a Fury. Nantan secures that kill. On the tail end, Samasuka wasn't up. Bolcher finds the kill on Poseidon as well. Only Geb left standing as right side jungle right now. They're looking to lock down his kill. He's buying time. They need him dead. But Small Mayo's on the Titan.
He is on the Titan. Bolcher's that back there to defend. Geb's going to get away from this engagement and just roll out. Bolcher not going to be able to find Small Mayo. Mayo might want to trade this.
He definitely could look for it. Spirit Ball.
He was looking up, but he's got no mana. Would you really want to trade with an Isis when you've got no mana? This is a bit risky from him. If he goes down, it could be a casualty of war that could actually cost them a Phoenix or two, but he's going to get away, which is smart from him. They're still chasing onto Geb in this jungle at the moment. Is Nonton. They're trying to find him with the help of Medieval, but they can't manage to pick him down at the moment. Geb's making good decisions to try to hang around and be available for this Fire Giant if he got started. He's delayed them long enough, and now Small Mayo can take a golf here for free. Nope, he's changed his mind. He's going to back. Good call.
And this is a real rough spot right now for High Five. The 4v5, they've been fighting absolutely brilliantly over this Fire Giant. They have not lost a fight in probably, I'd say, the past 15 minutes or so. They've at least gone even or better. With that Phoenix down the left lane, however, that does mean Fireman is going to be swarming down that lane non-stop. It takes about a minute and a half from the enemy tier 2 tower for those Firemen to push back to where the Phoenix is. So all Soul Shakers have to do is stall. Somebody will either have to go back and deal with those Fire Minions, or, well, Soul Shakers just win by default because the Fire Minions will just kill the Titan.
It's quite possible because all 4 members of High Five have to group up at the Fire Giant and defend it as a whole unit to really hold a chance against this. At the moment, they've done a good job so far of holding out, but that time is still ticking on. And I said, after 7 minutes, it should be pretty much doom and gloom. They've already got that one Phoenix in the left-hand lane now. If they lose one member of this team, like Small Mayo, he could actually go and end and force a 4v3 at the Fire Giant, while Small Mayo split pushes and forces someone to defend. Medieval going aggressive, looking for a Awilix. Not going to find it now, though.
Yeah, a bit of a back and forth right now. Awilix does have to be careful. She's probably the squishiest one on the team. She's riding Suka around. She has the option to leap off immediately if needed. But it can be a little tricky. There's a Blink coming out, looking for the quick kill on the back onto anybody, but he was locked down, immediately impaled into the wall. Silence onto Awilix. Desert Fury as well. This fight is on. There's the Eagles Rally as the Ring of Spears drop down as well.
But Eagles Rally doesn't do much, but he's still going aggressive into Nonton, trying to fight with multiples as Awilix does pick up Bolcher to the backside. Mayo comes in to destroy Nonton thanks to Savvy's work, and Brochacho surrounded, having to lunge away. The cripple is real onto Medieval, forcing the Lawbringer away as well. And now it looks like Salt Shakers may be able to get a Phoenix out of this. Savvy's still going aggressive, zoning them away from this tier 2 tower defense. And Mayo in support, maybe they can find more.
They are looking to chase this one down. The tier 2 tower on the right lane does still stand. Titan has been aggressed by Fire Minions once again. They need to rotate over and take those out. They're looking to end this one right now. This might be a little bit aggressive by these guys. They're looking for the fight. Health bars are getting low. Small Mayo finds Brochacho. It's only Medievals between them and victory right now. And it looks like as the Titan will fall actually quite quickly, Salt Shakers will pull this one around into a victory in one of the longest games so far here in the Challenger Cup.
Well, mainly, also it was 44 minutes long, plus the pauses as well, so we went over an hour into this one. High Five do go out this week. Unfortunately for them, they had a DC, they ran out of pauses, and that's what happens sometimes in games. You've run out of pauses, you have to continue playing, otherwise you forfeit by default. They will pick up some points this week and still have a chance at qualifying for one of these top 4 spots, but right now it's going to be a big ask for them next week. Hopefully they can get themselves on, but congratulations for holding themselves on in that game, in all honesty, because they fell behind quite big early.
Indeed. Nevertheless, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up things here for this round. We were planning on initially jumping into a second round 2 game, but this one went on quite a while. I believe we have a quarterfinal game all set and ready, waiting for us to get onto it. So we're going to cut to a quick little break. We'll be back here in just a couple minutes with another game. Stick around, enjoy the music.